Hey everybody, I am Rory with the Goddess Isis Coven, and I wanted to give you guys a little message today. And I am going to actually start sharing a story with you, so it's going to be in several parts. But I was guided to share a few oracle cards with you all. And just kind of feel what I feel with them and see how it relates to the overall message that I'm going to be delivering to you all with my story time. So the first card that came out was Forgiveness Will Set You Free, and it's really a beautiful card. Forgiveness will set you free. And what the next card that came out was Daughters of Staffs. And the next card was the Hierophant card, and I won't pull them all out. But anyway, so when I see these three cards, what comes to me is that we're at a time period right now. We're going through an ascension. We're all ascending. Well, not we're all ascending. Many of us are ascending from D3 to D5 or 5D to 5, whatever, dimension 3 to dimension 5. That's how it's presented to me, dimension 3 and dimension 5. I know some people say 5D and all of that stuff, but the way spirit talks to me is D3 and D5. So we're ascending. Some of us are ascending, and we have been working on this ascension for a great period of time. I know personally I've been working with helping everyone to raise their vibrations over the past few years. Actually, all the work that I do online on the social media platforms is all about raising your frequency and raising your vibrations. If you look at any of my pages, you'll see that for years, since maybe 2007, I think all I've been doing is putting out positive quotes and posts and reels and videos and positive information to help you grow and develop to become the best you that you can possibly be. All the programs that I have developed, taught, created since 1999 have all been on the same platform to help everyone to become the best them that they could possibly be. So these three cards today feel the way they relate to me is that it's very important for us to just kind of be still, tap in, especially during this time, to be still, tap into your higher selves and to forgive, release, and let go. And if you're unable to do that, sometimes you can just pick whatever feels a little bit better than where you are at that moment. So let's say that something has happened and you're finding it difficult to forgive for this, whether it be forgiving someone else or forgiving yourself. It's important for you to be still, look within, and do something close to forgiving that situation, especially forgiving yourself. That's what comes to me the most, is that we have to take time and realize that we usually do the best that we can possibly do. And sabotaging ourselves, beating ourselves up, that really is not going to get you to where it is that you desire to be. Sometimes when you have to forgive someone else, and it's a difficult thing, you can just do it by maybe writing a letter and burning it and release those feelings so that you can heal and you can release the energetic cords that you might have with that person. And I talk a lot about forgiveness and releasing, and that's not what this is about today because I could go down a big railroad track on different ways to forgive. But this is something that you may want to focus on right now as you reflect upon this year that we are leaving, 2022. All right. So, and then once you do that and really find that self-love and release the anger and resentment and whatever it is that you have built up inside of you, you will find yourself in a place that is very magical, where you can manifest what it is that you desire like that and on purpose and with a moment's notice. You can just manifest what you want. So I received these cards. I got spiritual guidance, and every day I'm going to get whatever cards for that day. So, and as I speak, I'm sure I'll reflect on these 3 cards. And I want you guys to reflect in this journey on what it is that you desire for your life. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What did you do this year? What would you do differently? Reflect upon where you are and where you've been in your journey, and what your next steps are on the next part of this journey. So now that we have done that and touched on that, I just want to share a little story with you. And where do I start with this story? All right, I'm going to start in the middle of the story, and then I'm going to bounce all around. And in the comments, because I don't have enough subscribers to go live yet, so in the comments, if you have questions when I do the different parts of the story, I will address your questions there. So I'm going to start at this place. One day, I was at the chiropractor's office. I used to do a form of chiropractic care called Network. It was called Network Spinal Analysis and Somatorespiratory Integration. And I did this for years, and I did it 3 times a week and nonstop, always 3 times a week. And this was for years, at least 10 years, when I was doing it consistently. And one day when I was living in Texas, my chiropractor's name was James. He said to me, he said, Rory, I want you to, he said, I think you'd be interested in seeing one of my clients. And I was like, okay. And he said, her name is Martha. Her name was Martha. And I said, okay. And she said, he told me that she channels a being, and then she gets communication while she's channeling this being. And he couldn't really tell me a whole lot more. And I was like, okay, I'll go check her out, And so I went to her home. She had an office out of her home. And when I walked in, she was like, and I'm like, okay. And she said, can you take your shoes off? And I was like, sure, I could take my shoes off. I'm like, why is she scared to ask me to take my shoes off? So I was like, sure, I could take my shoes off. And so I had on boots. I took my boots off. I ran to the restroom and came back, and I sat down in front of her, and then we began our session. So this session was really interesting, but I have run out of time. I've actually gone over time. So I'm going to give you all the next part of the story in part 2.